The grass at the All England Club looked as perfect as ever. The white lines were flawless. Centre Court was packed.
Thank you everybody who is here.
The world's oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament was once again preparing for another unforgettable chapter. But this time, history wasn't being written by the defending champion or the world #1. It was being written by a 21-year-old from the Philippines. Few people expected Alexandra Eala to become one of the biggest stories of Wimbledon. She arrived in London as a talented young player with enormous potential, but she wasn't considered one of the tournament favorites. The spotlight belonged to Grand Slam champions and established stars. That changed the moment she stepped onto the grass. With fearless shot-making, remarkable composure, and an infectious fighting spirit, Eala began capturing hearts around the world. Every victory drew more attention. Every upset brought new fans. Every interview revealed the humility and maturity of a player who understood exactly what it meant to represent her country on tennis' biggest stage. Soon, something extraordinary began happening. The famous Wimbledon queue stretched longer whenever she was scheduled to play. Philippine flags appeared across the grounds. Supporters traveled from different continents just to witness history unfold before their eyes. It wasn't just Filipino fans. Neutral spectators, lifelong Wimbledon visitors, and even first-time tennis viewers found themselves cheering for the young underdog whose journey seemed impossible only months earlier. The atmosphere was unlike anything the tournament had experienced in years. Commentators noticed it. Broadcasters talked about it. Social media exploded with highlights of every incredible rally. Millions who had never watched women's tennis suddenly wanted to know one thing. When does Alexandra Eala play next? That question became one of the hottest topics throughout the tournament. Every match felt like more than a tennis match. It felt like a movement. For the Philippines, Eala's run represented something much larger than sport. She wasn't simply chasing victories. She was inspiring an entire nation to dream bigger. Young athletes began imagining themselves competing on the world's greatest courts. Tennis clubs reported growing interest from children who wanted to follow in her footsteps. One remarkable tournament had sparked a wave of inspiration. Inside the All England Club, officials witnessed an unmistakable trend. Whenever Alexandra Eala appeared on court, the energy changed. Crowds arrived earlier. Fans stayed louder. The excitement became contagious. Television audiences grew. Online highlights spread across the globe within minutes. Every appearance generated conversations that extended far beyond the boundaries of tennis. It was clear that something special was unfolding. But hidden beneath the celebration was a question that no one dared ask. What would happen if Alexandra Eala's incredible run came to an end? Would the excitement remain? Would the crowds continue filling the stands? Or had Wimbledon discovered a new kind of star whose connection with fans was unlike anything women's tennis had seen in years? No one knew the answer. Because as long as Alexandra Eala kept winning, the story kept growing. And with every match, expectations became even higher. The tennis world was witnessing the rise of a new global attraction. What nobody realized was that the biggest chapter of the story had yet to be written. By the second week of Wimbledon, something unusual was happening. The conversation was no longer focused solely on who would win the championship. Instead, fans, commentators, and even fellow players were talking about one name more than any other: Alexandra Eala. Every time she stepped onto the court, the atmosphere changed instantly. The applause grew louder. Cameras followed her every move. Spectators filled the seats long before the first serve, hoping to witness another chapter in her remarkable journey. It wasn't because she was the highest-ranked player in the tournament. It wasn't because she had already won multiple Grand Slam titles. It was because people believed they were watching the birth of something special. Great sporting moments aren't always created by favorites. Sometimes they belong to fearless newcomers who refuse to be intimidated. That was exactly what Alexandra Eala represented. Her determination inspired more than just tennis fans. Across the Philippines, thousands gathered in shopping malls, sports bars, schools, and public viewing events despite the time difference. Families stayed awake through the night, celebrating every winner as though they were sitting inside center court themselves. For millions watching from home, this wasn't just another tennis match. It was national history unfolding in real time. As Eala continued to compete against some of the world's best players, Wimbledon experienced a surge of international attention from audiences who had rarely followed the tournament before. Broadcasters noticed higher engagement. Social media clips spread rapidly across multiple platforms. News organizations around the world began leading with her story instead of simply reporting scores. She had become the face of one of the tournament's biggest storylines. But every Cinderella story eventually reaches its toughest test. For Eala, that challenge arrived in the fourth round against one of the most experienced players left in the draw. The pressure was enormous. Center court was packed. The expectations of millions rested on her shoulders. From the opening games, every point felt significant. When Eala produced a brilliant winner, the crowd erupted. When she fought back from difficult moments, the applause became even louder. The atmosphere reflected something extraordinary. The spectators weren't just watching tennis anymore. They had become emotionally invested in her journey. Her opponent remained composed, relying on experience and consistency to weather every challenge. Momentum shifted several times throughout the match. Each rally increased the tension. Each game felt capable of changing the entire afternoon. Although Eala battled until the very last point, experience ultimately made the difference. Her incredible Wimbledon run came to an end. As the final point was played, center court rose to applaud. The ovation wasn't simply for a defeated player. It was for a young athlete who had captured the imagination of millions around the world. She walked off the court with her head held high, acknowledging every section of the stadium with gratitude. She had not lifted the Wimbledon trophy, but she had achieved something that cannot be measured by rankings alone. She had won the hearts of fans across the globe. And although her tournament was over, the conversation surrounding Alexandra Eala was only getting started. The biggest impact of her Wimbledon journey would be felt long after the final ball had been struck. When Alexandra Eala left center court, she wasn't carrying a trophy, but she was carrying something that every athlete dreams of earning: the respect of the tennis world. Her Wimbledon journey had come to an end, yet the applause continued long after the final point. Fans remained in their seats, applauding not just the performance they had witnessed, but the remarkable story that had unfolded over the previous week. It was a reminder that success in sports isn't always measured by championships. Sometimes, it's measured by the lives you inspire. At only 21 years old, Eala had already accomplished something extraordinary. She became one of the deepest performing Filipinos in Grand Slam history and introduced millions of new fans to women's tennis. Children across the Philippines picked up tennis rackets. Coaches reported growing interest in local programs. Parents who had never followed tennis before suddenly knew tournament schedules and player rankings. One athlete had sparked an entire movement. That kind of influence cannot be bought. It has to be earned through years of sacrifice, countless hours on the practice court, and an unwavering belief in a dream that once seemed impossible. But perhaps the biggest lesson from Wimbledon wasn't about Alexandra Eala alone. It was about the future of women's tennis. The tournament demonstrated that fans are eager to embrace fresh faces, compelling stories, and athletes who compete with passion and authenticity. They don't just want champions. They want personalities. They want inspiration. They want players whose journeys feel real. Eala delivered exactly that. Her calm interviews after both victories and defeat showed maturity beyond her years. She gave credit to her opponents, thanked her supporters, and spoke with humility despite becoming one of the tournament's biggest attractions. Those qualities made her impossible to ignore. As the tennis calendar moves toward the North American hardcourt season, expectations will naturally increase. Opponents will study her game more carefully. Every match will bring greater pressure. Every victory will attract even more attention. The next chapter of her career won't be easy. But great careers are never built on easy moments. They're built on resilience, on learning from defeat, on returning stronger each time. For Alexandra Eala, Wimbledon may not have ended with a championship trophy, but it ended with something just as valuable: belief. Belief from millions of fans who now see her as one of the brightest young stars in the sport. Belief from aspiring athletes who realize that no dream is too distant. And belief from the tennis world that the next generation has truly arrived. Whether her first Grand Slam title comes next year or years from now, one thing is already certain. Alexandra Eala is no longer simply a promising prospect. She has become one of the most compelling stories in international tennis. And if her Wimbledon breakthrough is any indication, the best chapters of her career are still waiting to be written. The journey has only just begun.